President Muhammadu Buhari dissolved governing board of Citizenship Leadership Training Center. Experts emphasize on the need for motorists to be more cautious to avoid road mishap during this season. Plus, federal government expresses commitment to boost healthy living of Nigerian children. Details of this in just a moment. Good evening and welcome to NTA News at 7. I am Ode Alenyo, and now the news in details. Experts estimate that approximately 1.3 million people died each year following road traffic crashes caused by human errors, which are most times avoidable. To ensure a hitch-free Yuletide celebration, they emphasize on the need for motorists and travelers to exercise caution and avoid rush during this season and beyond. Achigombasi report.
The Yuletide season is usually characterized by inflow of traffic within and outside the city of Calabar. Some areas in the metropolis usually considered as flashpoints during festive seasons are already policed by security personnel who are determined to enforce safety in Calabar during this Yuletide.
People see this period as a rush period. It's equally not a rush period, it's a dangerous period because in the process of rushing, you rush and have a problem on the road. Like I keep advising, if you couldn't achieve anything from January till the end of November, it's not these 2 weeks that will make you to achieve it.
To minimize the chaotic traffic situation experienced along the Dukbani-Itu Ikonikbene and Calabar-Ikomogoja highways during the season, a team of security personnel have been deployed to the area to enforce free flow of traffic.
Sometimes we come here, we spend 4 or 5 days. There is no access road. Fast from here now, getting to down there, you can spend another 2 days there.
Look at this one now, if not that time, it will fall down. And that will cause more problem every day.
We've extended our campaign to motor parks. Every Sunday we do send our members to the churches where they continue with their advocacy.
To forestall incidences of road crashes during the season and beyond, motorists and travelers are advised to ensure strict adherence to road safety tips. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
Commuters plying Aba Port Harcourt are counting their gains following the resumption of train services on the routes. Nta Calabar reports that the journey cost only 200 naira. The report.
The train station in Aba is now a hive of activities. Traders and other businessmen who need to move their goods see the services rendered by the train station as a cheaper and safer option. This is more as the Aba Port Harcourt road is in a deplorable condition, shooting the transport fare up to 2,000 naira.
People are now having the convenience in moving from Port Harcourt to Aba. From Aba back to Port Harcourt.
We like it so much. As the train is moving, everything is very easy for us now.
Immediately you call, due to the times, they fix that at 3 o'clock. There's nothing you can do before that truck will not meet up the train.
For now, it's better than motor. Because inside motor, you stay for hold up 2 hours, 3 hours, but this one, there's no hold up in train.
Since the resumption of services, the 6-coach train plies the routes on a daily basis with not less than 1,000 passengers. Those doing business in the locality say their economy has improved.
People are selling food, have customers, so they're making it easier.
The thing has been helping the sellers here.
Residents of Aba who are doing business in Port Harcourt say the resumption of the train services could not come at a better time than now, with the high volume of traffic expected this festive season. In Aba, Nta Calabar, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the immediate dissolution of the governing board of the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center with immediate effect. In a statement, Permanent Secretary General Services, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Nnamdi Mbari, says the dissolution is in accordance with the President's constitutional powers and Section 4 of the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center Act. The Chief Executive of the Center, Adesuji Eniadi, has been directed to henceforth refer matters requiring the attention of the board to the Minister of Youth and Sport Development until a new board is constituted. Mbari noted that all committees, technical committees, and other similar organs established at the center are also affected. Human traffickers are not far from you. They are among your aunties, uncles, religious leaders, and family friends, so you have to be very sensitive. These were part of tips given to students of the Federal Government Girls College, Abaji, by the Director General Nta Fatima Waziri Azim. Adebola Brookslands reports.
Poverty, lack of contentment, deception that greater opportunities are bound somewhere are some of the pull and push factors used by human traffickers to get their victims. Federal Government Girls College Abaji is the first unity school in Nigeria to be visited for desensitization. The students were educated and equipped with relevant skills that will help them identify potential traffickers. After inaugurating the anti-human trafficking club of the school, one of the students who distinguished herself in the fight against sexual and gender-based violence, Miriam Babatunde, was decorated as NAPTIP ambassador.
Threatening me that if you speak up, this is what will happen to you.
Mariam told me she was only lucky to have escaped from her uncle's sexual harassment.
The culture of silence is not the answer. Nothing will happen to you if you speak up. And if you go to, of course, the right authority, which is NAPTIP, they are going to settle the case amicably, and the perpetrator will surely be put behind bars.
Another form of violence identified by NAPTIP is bullying.
On the junior student, it causes low self-esteem, and sometimes they are being bullied not to report to anybody.
All you have to do is report, and there are different stakeholders there who can handle your case.
And we all remember what happened 2 weeks ago in Lagos, where a young boy who was dropped off in school by his parents to study was bullied to death. And it's very important for every student to know that the reason why you are in school is not to bully other children.
The sensitization by NAPTIP is part of activities marking the end of 16 days of global activism against sexual and gender-based violence. Adebola Brookslands, NTA News.
The federal government has reiterated its resolve to intensify and enhance educational interest while boosting healthy living among Nigerian children through the Social Investment Efforts Homegrown School Feeding Program. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hadiya Umar Farouk, stated this in Abeokuta at the handing over of utensils to Ogun State government for the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. Lekan Agbonte reports.
The National Homegrown Feeding Program, a cardinal aspect of the federal government's social investment program, has continued to thrive with attendant benefits since 2016. Ogun State, as one of the beneficiaries since its inception, has reaped great dividends with increased pupils enrollment, causing drastic reduction in number of out-of-school children and healthy population in the school age bracket. Handing over the utensils to the state government, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hadiya Umar Farouk, represented, says efforts are being made to scale up the number of beneficiaries to 5 million pupils as mandated by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Over 9 million pupils on the program, being fed by over 100,000 cooks. Employment is being created within the school feeding system in sectors of transportation and manufacturing.
The state governor, Dapo Abiodun, who was represented, said the state government is interested in the success of the program because of its impact, noting that government will not relent in its responsibilities of alleviating poverty and hunger.
It's a way of giving a relief to the parents and encouraging the students to come to school and know that, yes, the federal government and the government of Ogun State care about them.
We want to pledge our support as a state that we continue to support this program.
Other stakeholders commended the continued synergy between the federal and state governments that brought about enviable achievements.
It has really boosted the health status of our learners. It increases their daily enrollments. I want to thank federal government for the free food that they are giving us. You are there for us. Thank you for empowering us to be able to give back to our community.
Engagement between the representatives of the state government and federal government team was later held to suggest further ways to strengthening the implementation of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
To wrap up the United Nations 16 Days Activism on Gender-Based Violence Against Women, the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists South Zone organized a one-day training for female journalists in the zone to stay abreast of new trends in journalism. Joy Ubani reports that the training features basic reporting on violence.
The Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ South Zone, has joined the world to mark the last day of 16 days activism on gender-based violence. The event, which was held at the Nigerian Union of Journalists Press Center, Akwa Ibom State Council, brought together NAWOJians from various states in the South region.
NAWOJ was established to handle issues that affect women and children. And I know that over the years, NAWOJ has been at the forefront of reporting not just gender-based violence, but every other thing that affects women and children.
I know that we used to have difficulties as journalists reporting violence. It was the fact that the survivors, that's what they're called, people that have been raped or abused sexually would hardly want to tell their story. And that's because there was this problem of stigma.
I charge you again to be sensitive with your tenses. You don't need to go to big grammar, just simple English. So the people following you and reading your story will understand you.
Resource persons took female journalists on ethical reporting of gender-based violence, data gathering on gender reports, and how to use mobile phones in reporting violence. Participants say the training is refreshing.
The very important aspect of the reportage for journalists, because in everything we do, we must consider our safety.
Reporting violence is something that's not very easy, especially for the female. But that's our profession. We have been called to do that.
It's not necessarily about how you can score a big journalism goal, but basically how to help the victim heal and curb a reoccurrence of this menace.
Violence is on the upsurge. I think there is need to effectively report it.
As the world advocates for ending gender-based violence, it is the hope of professionals, governments, and society to witness no violence. In Uyo, Joy Ubani, NTA News.
You are watching news reaching you live from the studio of the Nta Calabar. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channel and YouTube/Nta Calabar. We'll go on a break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the rest of our news. The Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) says it has successfully carried out a mock session for the 3.5 GHz spectrum auction for the deployment of the 5th generation 5G network in the country. A statement by the Commission indicates that the simulated auction, which took place this Friday, December 10, 2021, witnessed 3 qualified bidders for the 3.5 GHz spectrum who participated in the software-based simulated auction exercise. Following the successful exercise, the statement affirms is set to the Commission to license 2 slots in the 3.5 GHz spectrum band, expected to be picked by successful bidders at the end of the main auction on Monday, December 13, 2021. While giving assurance that all necessary steps to ensure due diligence on the credibility of the consultants, the Executive Vice Chairman, Professor Umar Dambata, noted that the auction on Monday will mark a turning point in Nigeria's determination to harness the benefit of 5 GHz for the nation's socio-economic growth as concrete rollout of 5 GHz commences in 2022, the statement added. Niger State High Court has declared the Local Government Amendment Law 2016 that reduced the tenure of the local government chairman to 2 years by the State House of Assembly as unconstitutional, null and void. Nta Calabar reports that Justice Abdullahi Mekala of the Niger State High Court 3 has also ordered that no person authority should truncate the 3-year constitutional tenure for local government chairmen in the state. And to end the news, a recap of the story that made the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the dissolution of the Governing Board of Citizenship Leadership Training Center with immediate effect. Experts has emphasized the need for motorists and commuters to be more cautious to avoid rush this season. It was also in the news that the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to boost the healthy living of Nigerian children. That's it on our news tonight. From me is good night.